Today, I'm back with mega movie numbers for you all. This is where we run down physical media by the numbers. First, we take a look at a previous week's top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD discs. I give you my thoughts and recommendations on every single title there. And then we also, as a special bonus today, take a look at the year to date top sellers from two different sources. And that's going to be really exciting to get into as well. And then we look at the market share breakdown where we look at all the different disc formats that you love. DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, see how well they're selling in comparison. And then we also get into talking about the future of physical media. How's physical media doing overall out there with just some educated guesses and some fun speculation. We just have a great day talking the movies, of course. So if it sounds like you're in the right place, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics. And leave in the comments below, what do you think of the top sellers of this week, top sellers of the year so far, and then also the market share breakdown and where do you think physical media is going next. But let's get into the list of bangers right here. First up, we got Black Hawk Down from Sony Pictures. This really nice steelbook went on sale. I picked up this steelbook for way more, and I still loved it. I love the design here, but the movie is fantastic, directed by Ridley Scott. It's about the Battle of Mogadishu in the 90s in Somalia, and I just thought it was action-packed, all-star cast, really thrilling, so I enjoyed it, and the special features were phenomenal in there with great documentaries. Next up, we got to have The Crow from Paramount. This is still selling like gangbusters out there, and I still haven't picked this one up. I'm hoping it gets a discount on Prime Day because I love a good action revenge story like The Punisher. Can't go wrong with The Crow. Next up, we got to have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom from Warner. Last of the DCEU movies. I was pretty disappointed with the story overall and how they finished things. There are some cool action moments, but that's pretty much about it. Next up, we got to have True Lies from 20th Century. James Cameron titles are going to keep popping up on here, and for good reason. True Lies just looks like a squeaky clean new penny as a 4K. Great action comedy with Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis. Can't do much better than that. Next up, we got to have Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi from Disney Lucasfilm, and I just started rewatching through that Steelbook disc myself, and I thought the series is pretty decent. It's okay overall, not the best of Star Wars streaming, not the worst. Next up, we're going to have The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the complete first season from Disney, of course, and Marvel. And I actually did like this one overall. It's like a buddy cop superhero show. So, yeah, it was decent enough. Next up, we got Saving Private Ryan from Paramount. I'm guessing this is selling either due to a discount or because 4th of July coming up here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. It's a great movie directed by Steven Spielberg. The opening scene alone is worth it. Next up, we're going to have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Shout Studios, MGM here. Awesome 4K steelbook. To me, probably the best of the year so far. I love the design. The clowns just look fantastic, and it's a great cult classic horror level movie where it's just a whimsical time. And if you're into kind of silly comedy horror, you'll get a kick out of it for sure. Next up, we're going to have Star Wars and/or the complete first season, Disney Lucasfilm. I got through this 4K steelbook myself, and I thought the show was pretty good on a second retry watch of it. It's more of a drama Star Wars show, though, not really Star Wars epic action, even though it has its moments. Next up, we got to have American Gigolo. This is a new title here from Arrow. I've never seen this one. I can only guess it's a crime drama of sorts based off the cover, but you guys will have to let me know if that one's in my wheelhouse. Next up, we're going to have Bad Lieutenant from Kino Lorber. I believe this is a Harvey Keitel movie. If I remember correctly, a crime drama thriller of sorts, I guess. Haven't seen it either, but you guys, once again, let me know if that would be great to me. Next up, we got to have The Karate Kid from Sony Pictures. The Karate Kid is awesome. Classic 80s cheese, super fun. If you love sports, inspirational kind of fighting movies, well, there you go. It's one of the best. Next up, we got to have House of the Dragon, the complete first season from Warner HBO. Everybody absolutely loved this show besides me, apparently. I just couldn't get into it. It just was a lot of walking and talking. I didn't really care for any of the characters. I don't like the time jumps and replacing the actors. And then all the incest in there just got a little too weird and bizarre for my taste. And I just wanted some more action like Games of Thrones. And I did not get that, unfortunately. Next up, we got to have a new one here, RoboCop. 2014, though, from Shout Studios, MGM. And I actually do like this remake. I think it's pretty good. Is it as good as the original? Probably not, but it's still entertaining enough. I mean, you got Michael Keaton in there. How bad can it be? So that's cool that Shout Studios put that one out. Next up, we got Oppenheimer from Universal. This one, like I said, is going to be on here for probably a couple of years. It just did so good critically, did great at award season, great at the box office, and apparently it's a crowd pleaser, and I still don't get why. It's physicists talking, even though I enjoyed the visuals and sounds well enough. I don't know. It's not one I want to go back and rewatch a whole bunch of times. Next up, we got a new one here with Bound from Criterion. That's awesome. Always great to have a new Criterion during Criterion season selling so well. And I heard Bound is actually really, really good. I don't know too much about the movie. Maybe you guys can let me know kind of a description down below. Would I like it? I don't know. You guys tell me. But yes, definitely cool to see a Criterion on there. Next up, we got to have Dune Part 2 from Warner. Of course, it's Dune Part 2. Did amazing at the box office. Pretty much a crowd pleaser. Everybody seems to like that one. I think it's epic sci-fi action. Really love the cast there. I think it's a big upgrade over part one. Part two just knocked out of the park. Next up, we got to have a new one here, RoboCop 2 from Shout Studios and MGM. Now, I don't remember RoboCop 2 too much. I think it was decent from when I watched it way back when on TV, I think. But do I need the 4K boutique label right away? Probably not, but maybe in a sale time. I would consider it. Next up, we got another new one here. That's great. Chinatown and the Two Jacks. Remember, you actually get two movies in here from the Paramount Presents line because apparently it's a sequel in there. Cool. So Paramount, yeah, got one on the board here pretty high up. Now, I don't think there's really a major point to the Paramount Presents line anymore because apparently they just re-released stuff to 4Ks a year later. So why do I need to pick up the fancy, schmancy, expensive copy? So I can hold off on that one, see when it gets discounted on a standard 4K Slippy. But it's interesting, crime drama, Jack Nicholson. I would definitely want to check it out. Next up, we got to have Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire from Warner at the number one spot. Of course, the kaiju monsters be killing it out there. I didn't super love this one out of this monster verse just because I didn't get enough Godzilla in there. And I am Team Godzilla. Once again, you guys let me know. Hashtag are you Team Godzilla or hashtag you Team Kong? I'm a Godzilla person, and there just wasn't enough Godzilla in there. He was sleeping too much, did a little bit of a Baywatch kind of run, and that was it. I needed more of him. If you're a Kong fan, you'll probably like that one. A lot of cool epic action battles. But there we go with those top 20 selling 4Ks. I'm not super surprised by anything here. It just kind of looks like you got new 4Ks in there, which is awesome. A good mixture from the different boutique labels. And then, of course, you got those studio titles that seem to be really popular at the box office. So, kind of the usual suspects there. But that's awesome. I love to see that there's all these titles that are doing so well out there, of course. And you guys let me know if there was any surprises to you and what your favorites were out of the bunch. But now let's get into something that's actually a little new here. Is we're going to look at the top 10 selling for the year. And I actually got to bring up a couple of lists here. And awesome. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple different lists. First one, according to Circana, the May 2024 top 10 by unit sold were, let's look. At the bottom, we got Paw Patrol Jungle Pups from Paramount Nickelodeon. Paw Patrol is very popular. The kiddies love it. That's awesome. Cool. Next up, we got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom from Warner. Wow. Superhero movies, they just sell. It's as simple as that. Still a very popular genre. Next up, we got Dune Part 1 from Warner, riding the coattails of Part 2. Love it. I love them working together. Next up, a surprise here, kind of. Ordinary Angels from Lionsgate. I loved Ordinary Angels in the theater. Brought me to tears. Very kind of inspirational story. Just a feel-good movie that I think even more people should watch. But I'd love to see that there. Wasn't expecting. Next up, we got Imaginary from Lionsgate. Blumhouse movie, of course. Yeah, Imaginary. I thought it was okay. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Next up, we got, oh my gosh, number 5 spot. Madam Web, how'd you do it? Sony Pictures. I guess people were just staying curious about it, and I thought it was, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And I love superhero movies, so I'm easy on superhero movies. Just did not have any of the successful ingredients to make a really good movie right there. Next up, we got The Crow from Paramount. People love The Crow. Finally got the 4K. That makes sense. We got now rounding out the top 3 here. Dune 2 movie collection from Warner. Makes sense. Dune's so popular. Number 2 was The Beekeeper from Warner and MGM. I love The Beekeeper. Probably one of the best action movies of the year. Directed by David Ayer. Just so cool with Jason Statham. Really fun. Almost comic book style in a way. The number 1, if you guessed it, Dune Part 2 from Warner. Makes sense. Just everybody loves that one. All right. And then the next list we're going to look up. So let me center this one here. Year to date top 10 through May 2024. Let's look at this. Now, we're saying at the bottom here, The Beekeeper. So that was kind of a reversal, but Warner, MGM, still doing good. Next up, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny from Disney. I'm surprised that one sold so well. I wonder if it's because people were picking it up with their last like Disney Movie Club purchases. Maybe. I mean, it's still a popular franchise well enough, I guess. And I guess nobody saw it in theaters, so they picked it up on home video. Next up, we got the Marvels from Disney and Marvel. Once again, superhero genre, very popular, still gonna sell, even though I didn't particularly love that one. But in comparison to Madam Web, it's a masterpiece. All right, next up, we're gonna have Migration from Universal. Fun family animated movie. Oh my gosh, that was a good time. Next up, we got Trolls Band Together from Universal. Another one that's a great family animated movie. I highly recommend those. And then going to number 5 here from Warner, we got Wonka, which another good family movie, but this one's a musical and it's just so whimsical and fun. I really love that one. And then we got Oppenheimer from Universal. And then top 3 here, we got Aquaman and Lost Kingdom from Warner. Once again, superhero staying power. And then, number 2, surprising, The Hunger Games, The Battle of Songbirds and Snakes from Lionsgate. I did like the movie quite a bit myself when I saw it in theaters. And they had plenty of copies at Target and Walmart everywhere, so makes sense. And then number 1 again, Dune Part 2 from Warner. That Dune just did so good everywhere. It's amazing. Box office, physical media, critically, fans. I mean, Dune Part 2 just boom, knocked out of the park. So good. I absolutely love that. But now let's get into the market share breakdown and let's look at DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K percentages. All right, so looking at the home entertainment charts here, so we can look at the different disc formats, brought them up right now. We got 4Ks at 11.5%, which is a few percent down from the previous week before, but they're still above 10%, which is okay. I would love to see them above 15% though, and I'm kind of surprised. I mean, we had all these new titles come out from these boutique labels. You still have the popularity of the mainstream stuff selling, so why aren't 4Ks doing better? That's just, thought they were going to do better kind of towards end of summertime. Next up, we got Blu-rays at 19% here. They dropped quite a bit from 25%, so that's a little disappointment. Usually when 4Ks drop, Blu-rays drop as well, and I just don't know why the HD formats aren't doing as well. You would think with the new titles coming out, they would at least get a little bit of a boost. So DVDs are still king. They're still close to 70%, back up from 60%, and just DVDs are everywhere. There's so many DVDs at the different stores you go to, Target, Walmart, Dollar Trees. I mean, even in Walmart, they're apparently so beloved that they're locked up and hardcore watched by undercover security. If you guys don't know what that little rant's about, I have a whole ranting video on a whole situation that happened. I'll link that in the description below. You can watch after this one. But yeah, apparently the DVDs are so coveted, and the 4K steelbooks weren't locked up at all. Like, and nobody cares about the 4Ks. Nobody's even trying to take those 4Ks. Everybody is going for them DVDs. That was so random, but it makes sense now. DVDs are just so popular out there because they're the cheap, convenient option. They're everywhere. A lot of titles are out the DVD that aren't the Blu-ray and 4K. And even though with these new titles coming out, like I said, from these boutique labels, you would think mainstream popular stuff, you think those other HD formats would have gotten a bigger boost there. But no, people are still probably picking up the new stuff on DVD. They have their fancy OLED TVs and all that stuff. But hey, they're still picking up a DVD for it. Doesn't make too much sense, does it, all the time? But it's okay. It's just happy people are collecting movies and watching movies out there, and that's the most important thing. So whatever disc format you prefer, that is awesome. I celebrate that, of course. Now let's talk about the future of physical media, the state of physical media, what's happening here. Well, of course, we know physical media is always in kind of a constant decline as people are still on the streaming train. But I do think some people are getting off the streaming train soon as they realize movies are just taken off there randomly. They can't find their favorites anymore. They want to own something. They want to have something physical in their collection that they can watch all the time. That's great quality. So I think there's going to be more people that get into the collector's market. We've seen it come back with vinyl records. Books are even making more so of a comeback, and they've been around forever. I think now is the time for physical media, movie-wise, to also make that comeback. And I think we'll see more people get into the collecting game. That hopefully will boost the collecting numbers out there. It will never be as it once was, but I think the collector's market, even though a niche market, we are a proud market out there, and I think we can definitely have some numbers boosted up a little bit in the next 3 or 5 years, as long as these Walmarts are keeping on to them. If Walmart goes with the physical media and it's just online. We'll still have our little niche collector market, but I think the physical media train is just gonna come to a halt and just super decline altogether there, unfortunately. And we're gonna have probably low numbers for a lot of the formats out there. But there we go. Those are just my thoughts right now, my educated guesses, my predictions, all speculation, of course. But I got to hear from your guys' brains out there. Let me know, what do you think is going to happen to physical media in the future? How do you think physical media is doing? What formats are you loving to collect out there? Any surprises in the top sellers for the top 24Ks of the previous week, or the top tens of the year to dates here? Are you shocked by anything out there in the physical media world? Let's have those fun movie discussions down below. Also, responding to each other and getting those great organic conversations going. It's just the funnest part about being part of this community. So, if you are not yet, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that. Turn on the notification bell, hit that like button, because I'm going to keep you entertained and up to date in all future physical media weeks, of course. Always breaking down these movie numbers, these physical media by the numbers. You don't want to miss any of that, of course. And if you love this physical media topic, which I know you did out there, go ahead and mega smash the next video right now. And thank you so much, my Mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.